Mr. Speaker, several members have congratulated Claire on bringing her first motion before the House after 11 years as an MLA, and some indeed have expressed shock at that. I want to take this opportunity, and today should be a day when the parties on the Business Committee and you, Mr. Speaker, reflect on how all members should have a fair crack of the whip when it comes to bringing motions into this chamber. My predecessor, Jim Allister, sat in this House for 13 years and never had the opportunity to bring a motion. Progress, yes, has been made, but certainly there is more to be done, and I trust the Business Committee will consider that. I also want to add my voice and commend Claire for bringing her motion here today. I said when the member for West Belfast had brought his first private member's motion before the Assembly that it was falling to this corner of the House to address issues which others have failed to face up to. And it is the same today with this motion. Recently in the TEO Committee, we heard from the Older Persons Commissioner and AGNI. The story allayed to the committee was one of a section of society which felt ignored. AGNI's 2023 Lived Experience Survey painted a picture of a large section of our community who felt, and I quote, sidelined, forgotten about, dismissed, and no longer important to the health service. Some said they felt that they were not encouraged to seek treatment and that the pain they experienced was not treated seriously. Older people have been failed by successive executives. The pledge to extend age discrimination legislation in the 2011-2015 programme for government did not materialise. There has been a failure to renew the active ageing strategy, which expired in 2022. There was no commitment to legislate on age discrimination in the draft programme for government in 2016. New Decade, New Approach promised legislation, but again, nothing has come forward. There is no commitment to do anything in the current draft programme for government either. Put simply, devolution is failing to deliver for pensioners. And when one looks at the stats, it is clear that there is an urgent need to plan for ageing population going forward. We've heard today the Northern Ireland Stats and Research Agency in 2022. Well, their figures and projections are quite clear what they've laid out, so let's break it down. The number of children aged between 0 and 15 is projected to decrease over the next quarter of a century from 389,400 in mid-2022 to 299,500 in mid-2047. That's a decrease of 23.1%. The number of people aged between 16 and 64 is projected to decrease over the same period by 4.6%. By way of contrast, the number of people aged 65 and above is projected to grow from 335,400 in 2022 to 501,700 by 2047. In light of that, I think the case for urgent planning is clear in health, housing and infrastructure. I do, however, want to touch on another issue which members have to date overlooked. That's how we as legislators are contributing to the problem of a lack of children and young people. We need an upcoming generation to maintain a society, people who are able to keep the economy going when we are in retirement, people to operate the social care and health system on which, as we age, we will be increasingly dependent upon. Which brings me to the greatest shame in our province, one which has taken place not in spite of the law of the land, but expressly because of it. At the end of last month, the Department of Health published stats showing an increase of 77% in the number of abortions when compared to the 2020-2021 figure. The most basic step we must take to start addressing the issues of an ageing population is to stop killing our young. Decisions taken in this place have ensured that our ageing population will continue to age. The draft programme for government ignores our older population. I trust that through the TEO Committee evidence sessions and consultation responses, the Executive will put that right when we finally get to see the agreed programme for government.